Everybody, in this video, we're going to be talking about the changes in Marvel Snap to ranked. We got it in the news section, which if you haven't seen it yet, this is what it looks like. I did not have this in my news section on my phone for a while. I do not have it at all in Steam, so you won't see it there. If you don't have it, try to restart the app on your phone. Eventually, you'll get this Days of Future Past section. There's a bunch of stuff in there that I don't necessarily want to go through in this video, but what the part that they've got here that is about the rank. This is exactly what it says. Days of Future Past is easily one of the all-time favorite Marvel storylines. I agree. If you've never read the comics, they're a must. We hope you enjoy all of the new content coming this month. Happy hunting mutants. Oh yeah, just one more thing. With the start of the new season, we're testing rewarding 5 times more bonus cubes every time you reach a new ranked tier. See you in game. Chat soon on Discord. First is, this is all there is. There's nothing more to this. This is obviously in game, so it's confirmed. What does this mean? What are the bonus cubes? The way I understand this, and we're going to go on Reddit to get some explanation from some people here and what their thoughts are, but I want to show you first, in ranking, what does this mean? So when you're ranking, you're at, 659 here. And then as soon as you hit 60, they give you an additional 8 cubes, so you're actually at 61. Those are the bonus cubes. So they're talking about 5 times as many, right? So that's 40 bonus cubes or 5 levels. So instead of maybe getting to level 61 when you get to 60, you're going to jump all the way to 65. How you feel about that? I mean, what's your initial reaction? Like, yes, awesome. To me, again, we'll go through this a little bit as we look at Reddit. It's going to make the climb to infinite, I think, easier. And at the same time, it's not necessarily going to help some people who weren't able to climb anyway, because unless they do something with the matchmaking, which based on what we're reading from that thing, I don't think they are. All this is going to do is make it so you don't wobble back and forth around, like, say, the 90 mark or the 80 mark, but you still might wobble around the 85 mark. Unless they change who you're matched up with, which maybe in game they already have it set up that way, so it's you're going to have a certain level of difficulty at that section that maybe you didn't before. I don't know. I have to say that there's a few thoughts that I've got on this before we go into the anything with Reddit or what anybody else thinks or anything. I want to give my initial thoughts. Yes, this is nice. Yes, this is going to help some people climb faster, but I do have some pretty big concerns, mainly of some of the stuff that I've recently found out about. Apparently, people who get to infinite, or some people will get to infinite quickly and then use click bots to go ahead and get really far in their season rank, which I'm kind of like, wait, how high are these people getting? Because for me, this is as high as I'm getting, and I played quite a bit this season. Now, is this a win-loss thing, whatever? I played a lot of hours, a lot. Some people are telling me that folks will get 400 of these levels, 400 of these things. So I'm like, okay, from what? Like, I get it. If for some reason you decide that you want to pay this gold to refresh this to get more season points, credits, whatever. That's your choice. That's your money. If you're doing it that way, kudos to you. But if people are getting, because every time you play a game, you get some of these season pass credits or whatever you want to call them. I don't like that if someone's using an auto clicker with, say, Agatha, and then all of a sudden they're just playing games on games on games and they don't care because they don't drop below infinite. It tanks their MMR so they can jump to infinite quicker. And now the game has made it easier for them to jump to levels from, like I said, you go from 80 to 85. So they're going to get to 90 quicker, and that's going to jump straight to 95. And that means they're going to get to 100 quicker. That's the part I really don't like. I just have a problem with that. I'm not sure that that's the biggest problem here, but that's the first thing I thought of is these Agatha bot type people who are climbing a bunch. I think it's just going to help them exploit things faster. Does this really fix any MMR? Only if there's a different MMR based on when you're at like 87 to 92 than it is from 93 to 97. If that's the case, then yeah, sure, it gets people in a different pocket quicker, so they're just automatically giving them the cubes to see what it's like. All right, I guess. Again, getting infinite quicker, great. I think it's now, I think there should have been something bigger with this particular update. I mean, I don't know how big I expected it, but it would have been nice that we would have had floors in the rankings. So that way, and for me personally, I think the floor should only exist the last week, except for maybe once you hit infinite. I think once you hit infinite, you should be able to test and play and not stress about anything. And it's like, yay game, hoorah. But that last week, there was someone I was talking to on stream today who didn't want to play anymore because they had just gotten past rank 60 and they didn't want to risk dropping down to 59 because then when the new season started, they'd be even lower starting off. So they just stopped playing. They had to just stop playing, which that sucks. Like, that is not what the developers want. That's not what this player wants. Nobody wants it where in a game that you are sort of forced to stop because you can't risk getting below a certain threshold. So I think floors in the last week would be something that would be very beneficial for that. I think that'd be great if they put, even if it's, 80, 90 something, but I think they should have it all the way from, frankly, 40 on up. Well, I mean, what's it hurt anybody? It's just the last week. MMR resets. What about that? I mean, it would have been nice to see something there. A ceiling on the higher elos so that it's not just bots and, someone might be auto-clicking or just farming bots, but also for those who are actually playing legitimately. Like, what about those people? I think that they should be able to play other folks, and I don't want them to necessarily sit there and wait for 5 minutes for a game because I've seen that in other games where you just sit and sit and sit and it's terrible. So there's more coming, but I think the community was a little confused by this. And again, those bonus cubes are what I said. So we're going to look at Reddit real quick here. I don't want to dive into this too much. There's already 127 comments on this. Someone saying, oh God, is that it? They hope for better. The 3 direct solutions that could address the problems people have right now would be adding floors. Can't drop below certain ranks so people can relax and experiment. I agree. Having the highest rank you achieve affect your reset rather than wherever you end it. That's another way to look at it too. Whatever your highest rank is that's where it's from. That way you don't have to do just the last week. I'm good with that as well. Floors would only work. How does this fix the MMR problems? I tend to agree. This bot stole my comment. That's hilarious. So it makes gaining ranks faster. How about addressing how infinite players can tank their MMR and get infinite even faster now? That's what sort of I was talking about. Devs are terribly tone deaf. It's like they're trying to run players off. I might not be in tune enough with the community here. I hear some people are upset. The way the game's set up right now, it's not running me off, but I'm also a much lower collection level, so I feel like I'm still building. So I might be more intrigued to play, more interested in playing. I don't know. This person does like the jump. They think it's really good. And then they just talk about, so if you reach 50, you get to 55 instead of 51. Cuts the climb in half. Generally speaking, that's true. And then also, I think cutting the climb in half, it depends how you play. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it could still be difficult if you can't find a way to win in certain sections. Giving you 5 more levels doesn't mean you're necessarily going to jump up higher. It just means you're treading water in a different spot than you were before. I think fundamentally in the game, you do still need to have this. Hoogland, who is a bigger streamer, had somebody in Discord confirm it. So, I had made a comment there. So this was a good, legit thing. We're confirming that's how they read it. They actually think this is at least a positive, even if it doesn't fix MMR. I personally said I'm not so sure how positive it is. I've already kind of gone over that. This person says, I mean, if you're good enough to get infinite, getting it faster is just purely good. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Lets you hopefully have a couple weeks of freedom to not worry about min-maxing cubes. I agree with that. I think this Trevor here is right. That's how I read it. And I'll even say I agreed. I think that, that those things are beneficial. This feels pretty generous. It significantly reduces the amount of time. All right. So seems like maybe there are some positive reactions to this. Honestly, I think the best change would be to make each rank 5 cubes instead of 10. I don't know about that, but I mean, I guess it would make things go faster, but you read more literally, it says the first small change. Yes, that the jumps, yep, we talked about that. So it makes gaining ranks faster. How about addressing how infinite players can tank them MMR? Again, I think to me, that is one of the biggest things is tanking the MMR and also the floors. I don't want people to have to stop playing because they're worried about what they're going to be reset to when the new season starts. I just don't think that's fun. How is this a problem? Infinite players are literally 1% of the user base. This is another good point. Also, if they're tanking their MMR, they're literally giving cubes away. Shouldn't that make it even easier for everyone to get to infinite? This is too downvoted, but I'm actually going to upvote this. Sorry, in the comments below, you can hate on me. I understand what they're saying here, is that if people are getting to infinite quicker, fine. Aren't they donating cubes? Yes, some do. I will admit that this last 2 days, I'd say in a match, if I was just testing something like, look, I don't care. I'm losing. I don't care. I'm testing a deck out. I'm building up some boosters. I just didn't care. So I'd give people my cubes. But on the flip end of this, there is also the side where people are using bots. So problem is that by having their season start with their tanked MMR, this is the part that's bad of it, is like, I don't like the fact that it also can tank them MMR. So, and someone can sit here, I'm lying to you. I'm donating cubes, or do I really inside of my heart actually want to tank my MMR? Nobody knows because they can't read inside the person's brain, but I think the person brings up a good point of donating the cubes. I wish it'd be nice if they could separate that a little bit. We'll see if it ends up working out, but my God, how does this fix the MMR problems? Bots, not playing at the end of the season when you're at a rank floor. It's not what's needed. Ranked needs a floor, not just bonus cubes. It's like they aren't listening to anybody. So look, as always, it's the internet. You're going to get a lot of thoughts here. I'm sure I said it's certainly an odd starting point for all this. That's all. Because y'all aren't actually thinking about how to implement stuff. Gamers never do. Changing from 10 to 50 cubes at a new floor is an easy change to make. The system exists. It's functional. Not much effort required. Okay. A floor at every 10 ranks, reset based on max level achieved, or an entirely new mode are completely new features that don't exist and have to be built, tested, etc. True. It could be. True. So maybe this is a simple start, but time will tell. I don't know. I mean, I hear this person's point. I think it's an interesting point, and they're right. Like sometimes if you just want to fix something quick and this is the best thing you can do, all right. You know what I mean? So in that regard, maybe it's not so bad. I do wish, if this is true, I would like for the developers to say something along those lines. Come out and say to the folks, hey, just so you know, the reason we're only doing this particular thing is it's easy for us to implement right now while we work and test through all these other things, because those take much longer, and we didn't want to leave you hanging for 4 months or 5 months or something along those lines. It'd be good to check it out. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the rest of this. You can see there's a bunch of stuff on Reddit. I'm sure there's some positive. I'm sure there's some negative. I think that the last comment here that they had was pretty interesting, and it would be good to hear from the devs if that is something that they sort of looked at, and then maybe it might calm people down, but let's be realistic. It's the internet. People aren't going to calm down, so it is what it is. So if this video was helpful and it helped explain the rank situation, gave some opinions too, I'd love to hear yours in the comments below or the Discord, which is in the link in the description below. And like I said, if it was helpful, please consider hammering down that like button. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.